First of all, we said we used the phrase helping lawbreakers, and you were helping lawbreakers. You were bringing
was
toys.
I helping them break the law?
And very publicly so, by the way.
You
bringing
weren't specific,
toys
and that's
food
on you.
Can I please finish?
Well, I'm just trying to get it correct, which you should have reached out to me in the beginning. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
Okay. You put words in our mouth. You said we accused you of committing a crime, which we did not do.
Quoted you.
Pardon? You didn't? Well, you quoted us inaccurately.
No, I copied and pasted what was in the article. Is there something in the article that's inaccurate?
I saw on your Twitter you said we said you were aiding and abetting lawbreakers, and we didn't do that. You said that we accused you of a crime. We didn't do that.
Well, that's it. Then you needed to be more specific, because it wasn't just me that inferred that. A number of people saw that, and without any prompting from me, said the same thing. That's something that you need to be careful on. There was no specificity.
How do you know what other people saw without prompting from you?
Because
Are you talking
they said
about the
it
people
online.
that responded to your Twitter? You didn't even link to the article. I suspect most of the people that were supporting you on the Twitter feed didn't read it,
and I know you're angry at me for not getting that ad revenue.
Link.
Let me ask you this. What do you think the government's role is in all of this? What is the government's role? And let me explain why I'm asking that question.
In the people
in
coming
the border
here,
crisis.
in caring for them?
Let me explain why I'm asking it the way I'm asking it, because this is how I look at it. The op-ed, which was inaccurate, and I wish you would have reached out for me, because I'd have been more than happy to talk with you. It essentially advocated for bigger government without even realizing that it was doing so.
No, we didn't advocate for bigger government.
Well, yes, actually
That's,
you
again,
did, because you were delegitimizing private
words
charity.
Like essentially.
No, you were delegitimizing private charity. Absolutely. Because, see, what's happening is these border towns are being drained. I don't know if you visited the border, Mr. Lifson. I don't know if you have. I have, obviously. These border towns are being drained. And the president wants to spend billions of dollars of our money to say, well, we need to care for these people, which is ridiculous. They're not allowing anyone to deport anyone. I agree they should be deported. You will not find an argument with me on that. But the problem is what to do until the fight in D.C. is solved and they can be deported. Do we allow these people to drain the public sources of border towns? Or do we allow
understand it, you brought
entities?
them food and you brought them toys.
So you think that's the government's responsibility to bring food?
Well,
because
first of all, the
that's
government
what they were doing.
is feeding them. I don't believe they're being fed
so
by
you
private
think more
charity.
Government? Well, I was down there. You weren't, and they were. It was private entities who did not receive public grants. There are some charities who do receive public grants, and I don't work
frankly,
with them.
My position is that I'm fine with people charitably giving to these people. My major concern about you is that you've done this so publicly. It's I heard you by the way.
You published a public op-ed. Do you expect me not to respond publicly? Thomas,
Pardon?
No, wait, hold up. I'm sorry. You published a public op-ed. Is it not my right to respond publicly in kind?
Absolutely, but
okay then.
You must understand or I didn't express myself clearly enough. My issue with you and this enterprise of feeding people down there and bringing toys and soccer balls is that it was done in the public. I think that real charity is in private, as Senator Cruz did when he handed the check, and I heard you mention
Senator
that on
Cruz
air.
didn't hand
His private charity.
That was
I tend to regard charity that's done with publicity accompanying it as.
Now, if you're going to get biblical with me,
praiseworthy.
I can pull out some scripture. I also think it's important to use our vocations to minister and glorify the will of God and also raise awareness. Do you realize that awareness raised has made government responsibility down there and government subsidization of what private entities are already doing irrelevant until October? Without that awareness, we would not have that. And we would have bigger government. I don't want bigger government down there, Thomas. I don't want government to use this. Okay,
Neither
then we
do we,
agree.
and
So
we
why
haven't
did you make me
advocated
your
for big
enemy?
government as you said we did. We
But
just
you, in a way, did by trying to attack private charity. I don't understand why you view me as an enemy, because we agree, and you just admitted it.
We agree on most things, yes. And as I told you,
I'm still trying to find a spot where we disagree.
I don't have any problem personally. I don't know why you wanted me on your show as opposed to the author of the article.
Because you're the publisher, and it is your responsibility to answer for what's on your website.
But
it is my responsibility for what is on this show.
But you're talking about what I agree with you, and I don't have a problem with charity especially when it's private charity, as Senator Cruz did it. As I said, my reservations about what you've done, which are different than the author of the article, and I don't agree with every point of every article that we publish because we try to represent a range of conservative opinion. But
it needs to be accurate.
What was inaccurate?
You are responsible.
Please, I've asked you a couple of times. What was inaccurate?
You accuse me of partnering righteousness with lawlessness, and you refuse to be specific. And there were several.
Paul.
That's one. Comparison of helping lawbreakers. You accuse me of raking in the votes and money while playing both sides. That's inaccurate, and it is malicious, and you can couch it in the safety of opinion. But as an editor and publisher, you should have higher standards for that.
I'm sorry. I think that you are playing both sides here, being for amnesty,
How?
but also wanting to appear.
How am I for amnesty?
No.
Stop
Pelosi,
right now. Stop. You just said that I was for amnesty, which is false. Thomas, right now, you just falsely said I was for amnesty.
No, I'm sorry.
If I
did, I misspoke. I think you're against amnesty. I heard you say that. I didn't mean to say that if that's the way the words came out.
Well,
I think you're trying to have it both ways, though.
I don't understand how. I've been consistent in limited government. Where else am I trying to have it both ways? Because
you are supporting these people who have come here in violation of the law.
How am I supporting them? Because I want to render government taxpayer dollars. So you would have the government do that. So you would have the government spend taxpayer dollars that the citizens of McAllen, Texas don't have to offer that instead of private individuals who can afford it. That's my point. You just made it. You're arguing for bigger government. Whether you realize it or not, that's what you just said.
No.
You would have the government instead do that.
The government is already doing it, and if you think
so, you want them more.
That your
you want them to do more of it.
Result in the government not doing it, not spending just as much money. I think you're indulging in a little bit of wishful thinking.
Well, you can disagree.